The Apocalypse players present Saturnine Chalice, a Call of Cthulhu 7th edition scenario, written by Matt Sanderson. With Josef Chance as Zachary J. Crumb, illicit distiller. Danann McAleer as Remy Knuckles LeBlanc, serial killer. Dan Wheeler as Clarence Ulysses Barnard or Cub, Louisiana confidence trickster. And Dominic Allen as the keeper of arcane lore. We return to the storeroom, where we find Clarence Ulysses Barnard having an altogether abysmal rendezvous. As the face comes closer, you see that it's a woman's face, but she's sort of desiccated and rotting. And you can smell this sort of graveyard smell. And she opens her mouth to reveal these sort of sharp and crooked teeth. And she just opens her mouth towards you as if she's going to kiss you, but instead she inhales. And her eyes glow and her mouth glows, and you see this light coming out of your face and into her mouth. You're suddenly racked with incredible pain. It's in your bone. It's like she's sucking the marrow out of your bones. Can you give me a constitution roll?
Oh no.
In order to act.
Oh no.
Are you in the pantry?
That is the most middle-class reaction I've ever heard. Sorry, I know you're having your soul sucked out, but are you in the pantry or the...
I just wanted to check where we are when we die.
Yeah,
I want to know where we're dying.
To be
That's a fail on my constitution. I could spend basically all my luck to pass it, but that's a fail on my constitution.
You just can't bring yourself to move. You're just fixed in agony. To move is too painful. Well, you feel a strange feeling as well, besides the pain. What's Cub's earliest memory?
My earliest memory was being taken to a dancing show, maybe across state lines. I was about 6 years old, but I felt this. One of the dancers, she was beautiful. I always remember her name. It was Rose Damian. Must have been about 18, and I was only 6, but in that moment I felt like I'd become a man. She stayed with me. I always remember her statuesque figure, her long, delicate hands, and I thought, one day I will be with a woman like that.
As you're remembering this, it's like you're back there, and you can smell the kind of the popcorn and you can feel the velvet of the seat. You can feel your mother next to you, and you can hear the crowd, and you see the dancers and the lights. The limelight. It's that sort of strange quality of light, and the footlights coming up, and the curtain, the big velvet curtain, rushing away, and the dancers, and you see Rose Damian, and she makes eye contact with you, and her eyes glow white, and her mouth glows white, and you can't remember that at all anymore.
Oh.
You lose 14 points of intelligence.
Oh, fuck. Oh, Jesus.
Fuck.
Wow.
And can you give me a constitution roll, please?
Another one?
Yeah.
Oh, I passed that one. I passed it.
You suddenly, in that moment, you realise you can't remember, and you manage. You feel your hands again. You feel your legs, and you feel like you can move, and you stagger backwards. What do you do?
I still got my gun in my hand, and I shoot this creature.
Give me a firearms roll.
I think I'm going to do a 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
I mean,
The chaos in this house.
This house
Oh, man. That's almost a malfunction, but it's not. 98. 98 on a 50.
Okay.
But you're doing 3 shots, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you can roll these neat because you are in very close quarters, I think.
Thanks. And the second one is an extreme success.
Hey.
And the third is a regular success. So that's... do I get impaling damage with a gun?
Yes, on an extreme.
So I'll do my extreme first. Oh, wow, and I've rolled an 8. So that's 8 plus the 8.
Yeah.
16.
16.
And then on my regular, it's a 3. So 19 damage.
Nice. Bang! You hear this intake, this hiss of air, and something recedes into the wall and disappears. You've lost less than 1/2 of your starting intelligence, haven't you? You weren't on 26 intelligence or something.
No, I was on 60. So
yeah.
No, it's less than a quarter of my starting intelligence.
Well, nonetheless, you now take 1 penalty die to all mental skill rolls.
Fuck.
Until you recover.
Jesus.
And right,
awesome.
Okay. And you realise you're giving that penalty to someone who has strength 15, size 85.
The ultimate penalty.
So it's my mental skill rolls that suffer, is it? Okay, thanks.
So, Crumb, you hear this bang, bang, bang in the storeroom. Rosemary doesn't react at all.
No.
She carries on chopping. In fact, she does react. She turns. That must be the door, she says. At which point, Knuckles and Crumb, you also notice that it's now dark outside all of a sudden. And the curtains all round the house just shut. Which will require, I'm afraid, a sanity roll.
I was going to say, I whirl around with my gun raised, but I am terrified.
Is it not just the Internet of Things?
Yeah.
They've been automated.
Yeah, I failed that.
Like a Google Home.
43 on...
He's fine.
Yeah. 80.
You're fine.
How much do I lose?
Danann loses nothing. Josef, you lose a point of sanity. I realise, Cub, you should have a sanity roll for your incident in the closet.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
And I failed my sanity roll.
I'm just aware there's a dead man walking around. There is a dead person in this house. And I don't know that the...
Just one.
You lose a point of sanity, Cub.
Just one? Okay.
Yeah, I rolled for it. It was 1. You were lucky. And she says, someone at the door, to you, Crumb. And as she says that, perhaps instinctively you look to the door, where already Augustus is there, stood next to the open door, and there is a man who looks... he's quite a young, athletic-looking man, blonde hair, very dark eyes, and he's got this big all-American grin, and he's in this really sharp suit, and he's shaking Augustus's hand, and Augustus sees you and says, Gabriel, come and meet this. This is Lester Goodman. He's a wonderful man. Really, one of my favorite people. He's here for dinner tonight, and this is Gabriel. He's with some associates. Their car ran out of gas, and we couldn't say no to them, so we're having them for dinner as well. And Lester Goodman extends his hand to you, Crumb. And he gives this big grin with these perfectly white teeth. Hi there, I'm Lester Goodman.
There's this moment where I have a fantasy where I bring up the 32 and I put the next 3 bullets into Goodman's face.
Do it.
And it feels so good, but I don't do it. Instead, I put the 32 was already heading towards my pocket anyway because of Rosemary. So I drop it in my jacket pocket and I wipe my hand on my slick waistcoat, and I extend my hand and I say, Gabriel James. Nice
to meet you, Gabriel. At which point, Cub bursts out of the storeroom and Augustus says, here's his associate now. Mr. whatever your name was.
Goodenberg.
Mr. Goodenberg. This is Lester Goodman. And Lester Goodman goes, hi, I'm Lester Goodman, antiques dealer.
And I sort of somehow switch it on and say, it's a pleasure to meet you, sir. I'm Steve Gutenberg.
Steve Gutenberg, nice to meet you.
Steve Gutenberg. I was born in the fine city of Jackson, Mississippi, and I'm a humble Bible salesman here with my associate Gabriel, and we stumbled across this house and fell upon the kindness of the wonderful family who live here, and what excellent people they are.
Well, ain't that swell? Ain't that swell? Yeah, well, I'm really excited for dinner. Nice to meet you both.
I must use the restroom.
As you sort of go past him to get to the restroom, someone else is walking up to the front door. And Augustus says, "Oh, come in. Yes, we've got guests here. We've got Lester Goodman and Gabriel. This one's Gabriel and Stephen here." And the guy who comes to the door goes, "Hi, I'm Lester Goodman. Nice to meet you. Oh, hi." And the other guy goes, "Hi, I'm Lester Goodman." They go, "Oh, hi, I'm Lester Goodman." They shake hands. At which point someone else arrives at the door and says, "I'm not too early, am I?" He's like, "No, Lester, come in. He goes, "Hi, I'm Lester Goodman." And then another one, and another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. And very soon, there are 20 Lester Goodmans in the hallway, all shaking hands with each other, and you. Can you both give me sanity rolls?
Oh, dear God.
I think back to that moment when I could have taken the first one out.
Yeah.
Well,
that's a fail from me.
It's a 0-9 from me. And what I do is, Dom, if it's permissible, I move over to the nearest small mechanical item that I can find, and I pick it up and I put it in my pocket, and I nod and I start to if Cub is heading to the restroom, I start to head up the stairs and I say, don't worry, we'll be right back down. We just need to brush up on our sales technique. We'll get you all buying Bibles.
They all go, "Oh, well, we'll get you buying antiques," they all say in unison.
And I turn and I run up the stairs with Cub, and I'm dragging him up the stairs going, "We gotta get the fuck out of here."
And you run straight into Knuckles. Crumb loses a point of sanity, and Cub loses 2 points of sanity.
It's getting pretty hairy.
Probably you all meet on the landing. There is a lot of commotion in downstairs in the front room where the guests are being entertained. You can hear them all chatting. They all sound the same. Obviously, Knuckles doesn't necessarily know why yet.
no.
What do you do?
Cubby, what do we do? It's not right down there. Remy, thank goodness you're here.
We need to kill these people.
Well, I feel that particular ship may have sailed. A very good point to ask me to lower my voice. I do have a tendency to fall into orator mode when I'm anxious, which is now.
No, I raised my finger because I was a bit concerned. I don't think we should kill them, Remy. That's what I was. I don't want to stop you, Remy, but at the same time, I kind of I want to stop you, Remy.
Some of them is dead anyway.
I believe there's the number of folks downstairs, maybe even beyond your capabilities, Knuckles. I saw. Did you see maybe 24?
Don't look at them. Come on. Let's go back into this room. Let's close the door. I'm pointing to a random door, but I'm sort of waiting for the two of them to decide.
That's a fine idea.
As long as it's not a room I've been in, I'll.
So long as it's not a room you've been in.
Yeah. Because I'm just aware the person on the spike is in a room I've just been on, potentially.
I imagine that I'm pointing at the door that is closest, which I think is the one that leads to the rear balcony.
Okay.
Imagining that we're sort of not quite at the top of the stairs. I just go, let's go in there.
The bedroom.
Although obviously Zachary doesn't know that, but yes, the bedroom.
Yes. So yes, you duck into this room, and it clearly is a bedroom. It's got a large 4-poster bed with drapes in the sort of northwest corner with a bedside table. There's a fireplace with a sort of built-in closet next to it. A French door on the north wall leads to a rear balcony. What else? There's also a desk in here, neatly arranged with books along the back of it. You notice that the desk has space to the main part of the desk is cleared away so that you can effectively have two books open at once, if that makes sense. So you can be writing while you have books open. It's a big desk. And at the other end of the desk, there's a sort of pen stand and one of those sort of tear-off calendars.
Seriously, Remy, you don't want to go down there. You don't want to go down there. It's a bunch of freaks.
I close the door behind us, and I stand with my back to it.
Gee, this is a swell place, though. Real swell place. But don't go down there. I'm telling you, there's a bunch of freaks. I'm right.
Okay.
Ain't I, Clarence? I'm right.
You're right. I'm sure you're right.
I think if we can avoid going back downstairs, that would be a fine thing.
Well, we can't.
We are in a fix.
We can't exactly live in this bedroom now, can we? Maybe getting a jump on whatever group's down there is better before they have a chance to get others to join them.
I don't know how to say this, Remy, but there's a man down there, and he ain't normal. It's like... Well, you tell him, Clarence. You're better with words than I am.
Well,
If I was the only person to have seen what I saw down there, I would not believe my own eyes, but I have the evidence of Zachary Crumb's excellent young eyesight to confirm my own vision. There were maybe 24 people. They were all the same. I don't mean they're similar, I mean the same. I believe the Germans have a word, doppelganger.
oh, yeah. Double walker.
Throughout this eloquent statement, I have raised myself erect, and my cap is folded up in my hand and placed against my heart, in a crude imitation of someone about to take a vow, as if I'm desperately trying to back up Cubby's statement. Sweating. I think I'm sweating.
I know this is hard to believe, but I don't know whether it's some trick, but I tell you, you know me, I spent many days as well, I don't like the term, but they call it a confidence trickster. And I do not know of any trick which could cause such an effect. It's not like Follow the Lady or the pigeon drop or anything which is sleight of hand. It's quite something. I take a step back and start sweating, and I say, I need to visit the bathroom.
Listen to me. Before you head to the bathroom, Gubby, I had a similar experience down there. The young woman of the house, she surprised me in the library. I choked her out and I stashed her inside the compartment there. And then she walked back through the main door, calm as anything. Didn't seem put out by me being there. Didn't seem put out by her having been unconscious a moment before in a different room. There's some magics around this place.
Yeah. Now you're talking.
As fast as I can kill people, they seem to come back.
Well, that may work to your advantage, young man. That gives you a certain defense.
Well, plausible deniability's fine, but we need to get out of here first.
Very much so. There's no murder if there's the victim is still alive, but
Yeah.
I think I see this sweating. I imagine Clarence is now leaning heavily on the door jamb.
my hand is on the handle.
Yeah. And I'm seeing it, and I go, well, look, I can tell that you need to get to that bathroom. When you come back, we should talk about what they were talking to me about, the Abra Merlin.
Of course, if you just excuse me for a second, and I open the door and rush down the hall to the bathroom.
As soon as you open the door, Rosemary is stood right on the other side of it.
She's the mother, right?
She's she's Jeremiah's wife, so she's the maid essentially.
Oh, Jeremiah's widow.
Is she the one I've knocked out? And it's not the same girl I've knocked out.
No, that's Veronica.
That's Veronica.
That's Veronica. Yeah.
So you haven't seen that much of Rosemary. She was cooking.
And she was weird then.
She was cooking rat stew.
And she's in a pinny, and as you open the door, she says, "Oh, I'm very sorry. I just wanted to. We were looking for you. Dinner is about to be served. If you'd like to join us, we'll be going into the dining room now. Although I do have to ask, could you not gather in the bedroom if that's okay? We would prefer it if guests stay downstairs, except to use the bathroom. I'm sorry.
Everyone can react how they want, but it's fair to say I've started stealthing towards the door as soon as I hear her voice coming out.
Which door?
The door her voice is coming from, the bathroom door.
No. She's in front of us.
She's in the doorway to the room.
She's in front of us. So I was saying, were you stealthing back towards the French windows? That's what I was...
Well, I was just thinking I'm going to stealth towards wherever she's coming from. I just misunderstood the joke.
I think I've opened the door and she stood in it.
She's right there.
Oh, the main door, right, okay.
The bedroom door.
I was going to ask, obviously we were talking, but there was no indication of someone coming up the stairs. It was just suddenly...
Give me a listen check.
Oh, God. She's
It's
probably...
like a retrospective listen, right?
Yeah. She's probably still coming up the stairs, isn't she? And then coming up the stairs again and coming up... Although it does actually... I mean, funnily enough, having asked for it, I've rolled a 17, which is going to be a pass. It's not a great pass.
I got a pass on my listen. Not a good pass, but...
Yeah.
I'm too preoccupied to listen.
Yeah, well, you're right in front of her. You've got to, sort of flustered. You don't have the moment that these have to think for a second. Be like, did you hear her? And you're confident. You're absolutely 100% confident you did not hear her.
That's what I thought. Right, so that's a sanity roll then, isn't it?
Sure.
Because that means they not only are there multiples of them, they just appear.
Yeah.
I think that's, or is it...
Conclusion. If that's the conclusion you're coming to, then
that's definitely a
sanity roll.
I feel like that's the conclusion I already sort of postured in the lab.
I think you've already done the math on that.
Yeah.
I
Whether or not I believe it.
And I have failed it. 54 on a 50.
Oh dear.
So I think it's the layers. It's like the sound coming out of the window, the multiple Lester Goodmans, and now suddenly she's there. And like seconds ago, there was no one on the stairs. I was sure of it.
Well, this one stings a bit. You've lost 3 sanity points.
Yeah, but I think it's layered. Also, as soon as the Abra Merlin's was mentioned, right, and he cracked it for no sanity loss, I think it all makes sense narratively to me. So 47.
I mean, I have no idea about the Abramelin, so I'm sort of still in the blind.
Do you want an involuntary for that, Dom?
What were you thinking?
I do. I think I do go back towards the. I go back towards the French windows. I'm about to go. I think that's all I'm doing. I think there was the stairs, and I just sort of start to back away.
Oh well, I tell you what. Then here's what happens as you're backing away in horror. Your involuntary action is you try and turn and run through the French doors.
Nice.
And you bang your face straight into them because you realise that it's too late, that they're actually nailed shut. They're sealed with what looks like wax across the bottom. So you end up smacking yourself in the face as you try and go through a door that doesn't open for 1 hit point of damage.
Nice.
Is it fair to say that I'm still trying to squeeze past Rosemary, if she'll let me?
Sure, yeah. She steps aside.
Excuse me, madam. I must visit the bathroom. And
Oh, of course.
And I run down, as close as Clarence can get to running down the hallway to the bathroom.
So in terms of the geography, just so I'm clear, we're in the bedroom, which is on the top right side of the first floor plan, right?
Yeah.
And which door did she come through? The one on the sort of bottom left, just by the stairs?
Right by the
Yes.
stairs.
Great, okay.
When we came in. Yeah.
And Zachary's just run into the window door towards the rear balcony, and Clarence has just gone where?
Straight down towards the WC.
Which he's
so
visited
you
before,
passed
so he knows where it
her.
is.
Yeah, I squeezed past her and ran down the hall.
Okay, in which case I think I'm probably still just pinned against the wall, unless you shut the door behind you. I think I'm just pinned behind the door.
So you're hiding behind the door.
Yeah. Because I'm not sure what to do. It's all too weird. They're acting very calmly, or whatever. I find it, yeah.
Oh, we haven't killed her yet, I suppose, but I don't think there's anything calm about the way we're...
He's run to the bathroom, and I ran into a closed set of doors. No, I didn't know they were closed.
For me, that's
you guys are all like, they're acting very strangely, and Rosemary's just opened a door to find you hiding in
Somebody's bedroom,
their
the three of us having a
And then
conference.
one of you's like, run to the toilet, and the other one just runs straight at the French windows.
Ow, my nose! Oh, my nose! I think I might have broken my nose. Can you see blood? And then I realize that he's hiding, and I go, I mean, Miss, can you see blood?
She's sort of holding the door open now to sort of help you out, and she says, well, why don't you come here? Let's have a look.
And I make a show of sort of going slowly, and I do that Coen Brothers film look to Remy. I'm clearly played by Totoro, aren't I? But like a much shorter version of him, like thinner. Is that his name, Totoro?
Well, yeah, it is Totoro, but I see you a little bit more as Buscemi.
Yes, he's more Buscemi, isn't he? Damn, I'll never do that justice. But I'm sort of, my eyes, I think I'm hiding it, but I'm clearly not.
I actually think Danann might be Totoro.
Yeah, maybe you're more Totoro, just with the hair.
Yeah.
In that moment, as Zachary edges towards the door, can I see anything? Can I see, like, her hand? Can I see her fingers on the door?
Is she coming in? I'm trying to draw her in.
Yeah, she might take a couple of steps in. Yeah.
Like, as in, I'm flattened to the wall behind the sort of hinge closing of the door.
I'm going to surreptitiously try and reach into my pocket, my jacket pocket, to try and get my 32. But I don't want to shoot her. I want to get it so that it's a pistol whip. So I'm making a bit of a mess of it, probably. I could try sleight of hand, but I haven't got any.
So you're pulling a gun?
I'm surreptitiously trying to get into the position, but I'm waiting to see what Remy does. All the time stressed, because I do actually think I've really hurt my nose.
Well, let's say that she's sort of examining your nose with her back to the edge of the door where Remy's hiding, and she's sort of really closely examining your face.
I'll try and sit back down on the edge of the bed. I think I feel faint. I got to sit down, ma'am. I got to sit down. I feel awful, and I really want to try and have a little look to see if Clarence is okay, to see if he's got to the bathroom, because I really worry about Cubby, because he's an inspiration to me. And he's an inspiration to me, I should say. But it's all too much, and I try and sit on the bed, and I actually miss the bed with my bum, and fuck! I think I might have broken my headphones in a desperate bid to
What does Knuckles do in this moment?
Can I see anything of her, or just sense where she is in relation to the door?
Yeah. If you peep out, you sort of see the back of her head.
Right.
She's and now she's trying to help Zachary.
So if I was to shoulder the door, would it hit her, or would it slam behind her?
It would slam behind her, I think.
So that's what I do. I shoulder the door hard enough for it to close, and immediately whip up my chisel to the side of her neck.
Oh my God.
I'll take my gun out.
She says, what's happening?
Don't make any noise.
Fuck up now.
Yeah.
I know this won't hurt you. I know you'll just come back. There'll be some plasticine version of you that comes back like a snake shedding its skin. I ain't scared of that. Don't you fucking talk to me about what I'm talking about. Sit down on that bed now.
What? Oh, okay.
And I just lean her over with the chisel. And I say,
I'm going to go check on Clarence.
Keep coming back. Yeah, you go check on Clarence. We got more people coming, you hear that? Madame? Now you tell me, how come it is you keep coming back? Every time I knock one of you out, every time I kill one of you, you come back. You must know what that's about.
I swear I don't. I haven't got a clue what you're talking about.
As I get to the door, I say, Clarence Gutenberg, that is. That's Clarence Gutenberg. I'm going to go and check on. Yeah. Gutenberg. And I wink really badly at Remy. Sweat pouring off my face.
He leaves the room, and I turn back to her and say, he thinks I care about any of us having our names revealed. But, you tell me now. You tell me. What is this all about? And I won't hurt you. Can I do a psychology roll on her when she says, oh, I don't know what you're saying, or maybe on the next thing she says, I'm not sure.
Well, what she's about to say is, she says, I don't know who you really are, or why you're doing this, but I just thought you were here for gasoline, and I really, we're just celebrating. Veronica's about to do this magical operation, and
magical operation.
when Mr.
what?
Whalen
When what?
did it.
Yes.
When Mr. Whalen did it, nearly a year and a half ago, a couple of years ago.
Yeah. You're playing for time. Tell me the details, and I put
My
the
husband
chisel
and I-
closer to her throat.
My husband and I...
Give me the
we were given
details.
6 months paid leave, and I was looking forward to that again. That's all. We're just excited.
I can give a rat's ass about your paid leave. Now, what's this magical concoction you're talking about? That's what I want to know.
I don't know anything about that. Mr. Whalen and his daughter are they are...
So who's downstairs?
Cultists.
Who's downstairs?
Well, there's Mr. Whalen and Veronica, and my husband Jeremiah, and then
Oh, yeah.
and then there's Mr. Goodman, who Mr. Whalen's one of his customers.
And it's just
He helped
y'all.
him.
It's just y'all.
Yes, there's
Yeah.
me, Mr. Whalen, Jeremiah, Veronica, Mr. Goodman, Mr. Goodman, Mr. Goodman, Mr. Goodman, Mr. Goodman, Mr. Goodman.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Is that what she's doing?
Mr. Goodman, 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 and Mr. Goodman.
Does she actually say it like that?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I don't kill her, but I slap her around the face and then grab her head by the sides and just hold it close to mine and say, "Now, how many of these Mr. Goodmans are there? I'm going to trust you for a moment and say you don't know what's going on more than I do, but any further than that, I will not trust you. How many Mr. Goodmans are there? What is this agrimelon finascination? And how many of you are coming through the doors?"
Unless there's another Rosemary standing outside the door that I've just gone through, I'd like to offer this to Dan. You okay in there, Cubby?
So by this point, I've got to the bathroom and I'm going through exactly the same ritual that I did the first time I got in there. Close the door behind me. Lock,
The ablutions are
strip
terrifying.
my shirt off, like start just washing under my armpits, my face furiously, and I think I'm basically topless and wet when I hear the knock at the door. Just 1 minute. Is that Crumb?
Yeah, yes, it is. You take your time. I know you need to take your time. And as I say that, I look around. Are there any clocks on the hallway? Or indeed any other mechanical instruments?
Yes, there's probably a clock.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, Remy's got the woman. Rosemary.
Is that right? And I'm now getting a towel and patting myself down and borrowing the cologne that I did before and splashing myself with some of that cologne.
I'm going to go back and make sure it goes okay.
That's fine. I'll come straight back there.
I'm sorry.
Don't leave the room.
I'm sorry I lost my nerve.
No. That's quite all right.
You come back when you're ready.
Of course.
We'll get out of here, Cub. You'll see. We'll make that fine poutine. I promise you. It'll be the best in the East Coast.
Zachary, hold on 1 second.
And he's gone.
I would like to, if it's all right, glance over to the door that leads up to the cupola. And can I do a spot hidden to see whether it looks like anyone has been through it?
Well, the door is standing open, so you can see this. You can see the steps up.
And I closed it behind me, right?
Did you? I'm not sure. Can't remember.
Well, I mean, you tell me.
Oh, I can't remember. But it's standing open either way.
Well, I think I'd closed it because it was closed when I went in, and obviously I would want to hide the fact that I'd been up there.
Sure. So yeah,
I think
it's open.
It's open.
But yes, you can give me a spot hidden.
6 over. I might spend the luck. 6 points of luck.
How much you got left?
65.
Yeah, tempting.
Yeah, I'm spending it. Spending 6 points of luck to pass that.
Okay. Actually, to retcon slightly, if you'd rolled for listen, would you have passed?
No, I wouldn't have done, and I wouldn't have spent the luck because I would have failed by more.
Oh, well, in that case, give yourself the luck back.
Okay.
You don't hear anything. In terms of a spot hidden, there's nothing to spot at the moment besides the door being open.
Fine.
In that case, I sort of redress and open the door slowly and have a look down the corridor and head back towards the bedroom where I think I'm going to find them both, unless I encounter someone else on my way.
I think you see me guiltily putting the clock back on the wall, depending on how big the clock is. Is it like a grandfather style? Is it a granddaughter?
Like carriage clock.
Carriage clock. Thanks. Okay. Yeah. That's the term.
I think it's probably a wall-mounted clock.
Yeah. So I'm putting a slightly broken clock back onto the wall, and I look at you guiltily with I've got a fine screwdriver in my mouth as I'm doing it, and I look at you and guiltily and I go, I'm sorry, Covey. I needed to check the time.
No need to apologize. You never know when a few cogs and keys and bits and pieces may come in handy.
I go pale. I go very pale. And you can see I've got my hands full of cogs and springs, and
now
I'm sort of shoving them in my pockets.
Is this the stairs has a big long banister presumably that I can look over?
Yeah.
I would like to do that, to look over to see whether people are still milling around downstairs or whether they've all gone into the dining room.
Some of them are still in the front room.
Some of the Lester Goodmans.
There's a couple of Lester Goodmans having a conversation and a drink in the hallway. Augustus sort of bumbles through and he sort of starts ushering them into the dining room, and he looks around, and then he comes to the foot of the stairs and calls up, and he says, I say, Mr.
Gutenberg, that's right, yeah.
Dinner is nearly served. If you and your colleagues would like to join us.
Of course, we would just, one moment, we're just freshening up.
Does he say colleague rather than colleague? I might not hear this. Sorry,
I think he does say colleagues. Yeah.
I think the game is up in terms of how many of us there are. All right.
We didn't know that, though. I mean, I've not been spotted by anyone that I haven't incapacitated. But, yeah.
Speaking of which, what is happening with Knuckles and this lady?
I want to do an intimidate roll.
Okay, yeah.
Because I think that the answers she's been giving me aren't up to scratch. And I hold the chisel just under her eye there. And I just say, listen there, I'm not a bad person. I know how to pop an eye out easily. I can pop an eye like nobody's business, like catching a frog. But I don't want to do that to you. I want to know the truth. Now, am I talking to you or am I talking to something that is channeling you? Either way, it don't matter to me. But am I talking to this young lady or am I talking to the intelligence behind her? Well?
She looks confused for a moment, but give me an intimidate roll.
Yeah, and as I do the roll, I say, either way, whether it's you or something channeling you, you're about to lose your channel. That's all I'm saying.
I think you could get away with a charm roll for that. You called her a young lady, didn't she?
She's
at
least in her 40s.
I mean, I rolled a 13 on my 85 intimidate. Ooh. Yeah. Which is an extreme.
You see her eyes well up with tears, and she says, you've got to believe me, And then it's as if a cloud passes over and she says, oh my God. And she suddenly grabs you, not violently, but just to sort of for support. And she looks you in the eye and she says, oh God, we've got to get out of here.
Yeah.
We've got to get out of here. And she rushes to the French window where you see the curtains have drawn. But when Zachary bumped into them, you could have sworn they were open.
Of course, that's why he ran into them.
And she whips them back. And the glass has been replaced with bricks.
Deja vu.
And she turns around. She presses herself against the bricks and she says, it's too late. It's too late. The demon's going to torture you forever as well. Like he's torturing me.
No.
Unless you're him.
Listen.
You were sent to torture me as well.
No. Listen. I'm trying to quiet her, but yeah.
She quietens down, and then you hear this sort of scrabbling in the fireplace, and a bit of soot falls down the chimney. Click, click, clack, clack. And then suddenly this thing rushes out of the grate. You see this long, pale, and sort of rotting arm come out from under the chimney breast, and then this decrepit, corpse-like woman shoots out of the fireplace and grabs Rosemary and just breaks her neck.
Fuck off.
And then she looks at you and screams and then rushes back up the chimney, taking Rosemary with her.
You all right in there, Remy?
Can you give me a sanity roll?
Yeah, I think that's a sanity roll. However hardened I am, that's a sanity fucking roll. That's a 34 on my 80 in sanity, but I feel like I may lose one anyway. I mean, it's up to you.
You lose one.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, anyway.
I just at the moment where I'd suddenly realised my hunch was correct and this woman was actually being taken hold by some other entity, I was about to try and, I don't know, I had an instinct to care for her. And she was snatched away up a chimney. And it just reminds me in this moment why I should never care, why I should always kill.
You okay in there, Remy? Is it okay if I come in?
Yeah, come in, Zachary. No, I'll come out. And I take one last look at the fireplace. And
He's coming out.
Shut it behind me. And I say, there's some fucking devil and there's chimneys. Whether it's on the roof or not, I don't know. We need to light a fire under every chimney. We need to burn this place to the ground. Place to the ground.
Wait. We've been invited to dinner. I think we got to play along for a bit, right? Right, Cubby?
Invited to a dinner with what? Mr. and Mr. and Mr. and Mr. and Mr. and Mr. We can't keep...
Right.
These people are not people. There are maybe 4 people here. Everyone else is a copy. There's something else copying them. There's some being, something living in the walls. I don't know.
I'm sure all that is true, but I'm inclined to agree with our associate, Mr. Crumb, that there appears to be no way out other than to join these folks for dinner and see how the evening plays out.
Well, maybe. But I'm just sort of looking around. I'm not staying here a moment longer than we need to.
But it's
if you can think of a way out, then please enlighten us to your ideas.
Oh, well, Clarence,
Mr. LeBlanc.
Ulysses, Barnard, I can think of a way out. It's more a case of how will we get you out? How does one get a slug off a lettuce once the salt's already set in? I can get myself out of this situation. You want my help?
I've stood at the top of the stairs. I've just sort of backed away from them both, just hard, like 2 feet. And I'm stood at the top of the stairs looking at the Lester Goodmans not straight down. I'm kind of bending over to look around the banister. And in the meantime, I'm desperately trying to kind of fashion something out of the cogs and bits of machinery that I've plundered from that clock. And I'm looking at them, and I say, on those words, I say, I don't think it's the right thing to do for us to fight amongst ourselves, gentlemen. We gotta choose our moment to get back out.
Yeah,
we gotta make a prison break. And I turn to them and I say, we gotta make another prison break.
We don't want prison break already. Where's that got us? Shut up in some fucking house with hundreds of the same person coming over for tea.
She cast the Abra Merlin. Do you know what that is?
I don't remember what that is. Tell me what the Abra Merlin is.
I read about it inside. It would take me a month to explain it to you. And that's not because you're stupid, you goddamn genius. You're one of the best people I know with a knife. And we need you to get out. So we're on each other's side. Ain't that the truth, Cubby? That's what you told us back in the joint, and that's true for us right now. We're going to get out of there. We just need to...
He's sort of like temporarily lost for words because he's got no idea where this sort of like animosity has suddenly come from Knuckles. So he's sort of like holding onto the banister with one hand, thinking like what he's been. The little authority that he's been operating on has just been sucked away from him. Sort of steadying himself, and he says, "I need to use the bathroom."
As you say that, could you all give me a listen roll?
You hear a booming voice saying, IBS. 84. That's a fail.
No, I failed mine.
You all failed.
No.
Oh, well, we two did. Joseph,
That was a listen, right?
Zachary may have succeeded.
I have passed. Let me just double check.
You better pass.
Okay, so I'm on a 1 luck to pass.
Oh, yeah. Sick.
Is that acceptable? Keeper of the Occult Society, Vice Chairman. Sorry, Vice Chairman of the Arkham Occult Society. Is that acceptable?
Of course.
Yeah, so I will spend that 1 luck, 34 to a 33.
So what you all hear is Augustus at the foot of the stairs again saying, "Gentlemen, dinner is imminent." But as Cub says, "I need to use the bathroom again," Zachary, you hear a creak that you think is coming from the bathroom. And as you look, you can see under the door, there's just a thin bit of gap where you can see a shadow moving as if someone is walking towards the bathroom door. Very slowly, the handle starts to turn. You're not sure if Cub's noticed this yet as he bumbles towards the bathroom.
I think I lunge for you, Clarence Ulysses Barnard, and I try and grab you by the arm.
And I say, get off me. I'm filthy. I need to wash.
No, look, under the door there, under the door, coming towards us.
Just because I feel like being a cunt, could you could you give me a probably a dex roll to see if you get a hold of him?
That is not in the least bit cunty. That's.
Is it opposed or is it just? I don't want to oppose it.
I've actually done really well. I've rolled a hard success on my dex, 29 on a 65.
Okay, fine. So you managed to grab hold of him without toppling him across the banister.
But I think keeper of the Arkham Occult Society, or at least the vice chairman, what I do unfortunately do is I do drop both my screwdriver and my precious cogs and things. They in the progress of this, I mean, cubby means more to me than that in the long term, but in the acute mania is not going to be satisfied quickly. But yeah, sure. so I managed to grab him, but I've lost my stuff.
Well, in that case, I'm going to say that as it tumbles out of your grip, it slips through the bars of the banister and falls downstairs somewhere.
No, the worst possible conclusion. Yeah, nice.
But you get hold of Cub and stop him in his tracks.
And the good news is I look and I think I probably now see what he's indicating under the door.
Yeah.
And
I say we go downstairs and pick our time.
But who's someone's come from?
I lean in close.
What if it's you? Let's get out of here. What if it's you?
What if it's me?
And I'm tugging at you like a child tugs at Father Christmas. To sort of come away.
Do I see this happening?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You can
In
do
which
it
case,
right.
I want to go and open another room upstairs. Are there any rooms we've not been in?
There's a door to the left, isn't there?
Let's see.
But I think there's the oratory or the chamber we haven't been in. Which one was
both of those? Yeah.
Lichen?
You've been in the oratory. That's where the woman's where
Impaled.
looks like
Yeah.
So the further door down the corridor you've.
So I want to
but we
kick
don't know
open the door to the chamber.
I think you went in the chamber as well.
that. I don't know.
Oh, I remember I was tallying up doors. I was just looking through and not going in. So it would make sense if I had.
Oh no, you didn't go into the chamber. The chamber was the door you noticed is sealed with wax.
Another seal with wax door. Shit.
So if you push it open, I'll need a strength roll from you.
I'll give you a strength roll. My strength is horribly high.
And it makes sense because I feel like you were right there throughout that whole sort of sequence, weren't you?
I got a 28, which is a hard success.
Yeah, so you push the door open, and there's some resistance, not just from the wax, but as you push it, there's something sort of catching on the floor. And as you look down, it's this sand. The sand, this white sand, is, evenly raked across the entire floor of this room. Yeah. And you pushing the door open has sort of made it mound up behind the door.
Yeah.
But it reveals the floorboards, and you can see that the gaps in the floorboards have been sealed with wax as well to keep the sand sort of contained. But the doors through to the oratory are open, and the sand is sort of drifting out there. But the rest of the room has been completely stripped of furniture and everything. It's a room just of it's white sand.
I back out of that doorway, and I go back into the doorway through the hallway that leads to the oratory. I'm not sifting through sand to get there when I can do it quick time through the hallway.
Is it fair to say that as you're kind of passing behind us, I imagine that probably Cubby got a fair way down.
Clinch this sort of,
I desperately swing over my shoulder and go, "Can't you help us, Remy?"
Help you with what?
Let's get downstairs. We'll take a moment and we'll make a decision.
Get downstairs. I'll see you down there. I'm just checking there ain't nothing we can use as weaponry up here.
But that sounds like Remy's on a mission and is gone.
Has he said that like full volume like that?
Well, I think I've said it volume enough that I'm assuming you'll hear me, but is there noise? Well, this is a very good question, actually. Is there any sort of crowd noise from downstairs? Does it sound like the sort of average bubbling dinner party sound?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. In which case, I've said it at a level that I hope we'd hear, but no one downstairs would.
But does he said it to be specific? Because he said it at the sort of volume where the person behind the bathroom door might have heard it as well.
Oh, who I don't know about.
Yeah.
Quite possibly. Maybe that's a luck roll. I don't know.
Okay. In that case, I think I look at Crumb and like raise my finger to the bathroom door.
The bathroom door opens just a crack.
I pull my gun.
I get my gun out as well.
And then it stops.
Do I see this?
Hear breathing.
We hear breathing, did you say?
I'm still pulling your arm, and I'm still trying to go backwards.
I throw caution to the wind, and I run at the door.
Yes.
I heft my full weight against the door.
To shut it.
Oh, does it open outwards?
I was sort of imagining it opening outwards, but maybe that's because I was buying time for myself.
Okay, fine. Ignore me. Ignore me.
I think you would have to, given the size of the WC.
Yes,
Yeah,
okay,
maybe.
good point.
You could throw it open. I mean, you could rush up there, throw it open with a gun in your hand. I mean, same principle, right?
Or, I mean...
No, very, very different principle.
You're a big man. You're a big man.
fucking Jabba the Hutt could shoulder him.
Flatten the fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. In your mind's eye, that's what plays out, and then you realise the door opens this way.
Yeah. So I just clear my throat and say, we could see you in that there bathroom. I suggest you come out and identify yourself. We mean you no harm. We are humble Bible salesmen. We're just confused about the events of the party downstairs, and we could do with a friend to talk to before we descend.
If it's fair to say that during them starting to address the WC, which I have no idea what's going on there, I was heading for the door to the oratory. Could I open the door to the oratory and just...
the door to the oratory is already open.
Yeah, I'd opened it before, right? But
no, I mean the door from the chamber to the oratory is just...
Oh, I know, but I didn't want to walk through the room full of sand. So in my head, I'd come back out into the hallway, made my way slowly towards the WC, heard them talking to it, and then thought, fuck that, and slipped into the other door to the oratory, if that's open.
Yeah. This is the room you were in before, where there's like an altar.
Yeah.
And there's a body impaled on a long piece of wood.
And has anything changed since I've been in there?
No.
Okay. The body's dead, right? As far as I can tell.
Yeah.
Great. In which case I just stay there in the doorway, just slightly hidden from the doorway of the WC. If that makes sense. and listen to this conversation play out between them and this mysterious figure behind the bathroom door.
The voice in the darkness of the WC comes back to you, Cub, and says, well, I have to say, I have always enjoyed the theatre.
I start pulling on him.
I would be more than happy to accompany you on whatever social endeavour you were engaged upon.
Is that a sanity roll?
Yes, I think.
I'm going to hiss into the door that it leads to the oratory. Obviously, I don't know it's called that. I go, let's get downstairs. And I'm desperately pulling on this massive man who I'm not strong enough to move.
A really good success on my sanity, 0-3.
You lose a point of sanity. Zachary, do you think you should do a sanity roll and maybe Remy hearing?
What do I hear? The same thing, just basically
Yeah.
Clarence's voice echoing from the toilet.
Well, I think the disturbing thing is that you can hear someone who is Cub, who is not Cub. That's the disturbing.
Yeah, I think for me...
And I know it's not. Sorry, Dan, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I can tell that it's not Cub.
It sounds like it is, but you're looking at Cub.
But in the sense that I'd already said it could be you.
Yeah.
In a kind of Goodman way. It's like the Goodmans all sound the same, right? It's like,
Yeah.
This doesn't sound like, for instance, it doesn't sound like, hello, I'm Clarence Ulysses Barnard. It isn't, hello, I'm Clarence Ulysses Barnard.
No. It sounds exactly like
It does, because I was getting exactly like from your performance. That's what I was getting.
obviously.
But it's not the guy standing next to me who I'm desperately trying to pull away.
I'm happy to do a sanity roll, but I would argue it's not necessarily because I've already come to the conclusion that people are being copied in this house. And actually it's a relief if Cub's been copied as well, because it means I don't have to worry about loyalty or anything. Not that anyway.
If you buy that bullshit, you go down in my estimation, Dom. But don't worry, make your own choice.
All right, I'll do it. I'll do one. I'll just do one. I'll pass it anyway.
What's that, Dan? I want to hear what Dan's perspective on it is.
What does this mean to you fellows?
100. It means 100. I haven't even seen it. It hasn't even shown us the dice. It's 100. Dan, don't try and dodge it.
Yes. I think that's 100.
Oh, God, it is 100. That's bad.
Isn't it? Are they zero? They're the zeros? Or are they the...
They're the zeros.
I assume they're the zeros, because otherwise there's no...
But that's not what you've just rolled, right? That's not what you've just rolled.
Yeah, that is.
No, he's just asking out of interest.
No, that is what I've just rolled. Yeah, I was just checking, actually.
What were you going to say, Dan?
What was I going to say? It feels like it might be a bit late, but I was going to say Clarence takes quite a positive view of this situation. And I'm hearing my own voice back, although it's affected my sanity. I think I see I'm an eternal optimist. That's the thing. So I just say, Cubby, Clarence Ulysses Barnard.
It merely repeats what it said before.
Okay. I say, we could do with a great mind like yours to assist us in our escape from this frightful place. I have 2 companions here who have been admirable assistants to my escape thus far, but I see no better person to assist us further and secure our flight from this prison of sorts than Clarence Ulysses Barnard himself. Please join us. Join us in our quest to escape this house of horror and defeat the terrifying beings within.
Presumably, as he says, terrifying beings within, he gets a chance to react to the 2 colleagues of his who are going batshit crazy, because I failed too. So there may be noises and people running and that sort of thing.
Well,
I don't know.
Failed, and I've just rolled for you, Joseph. And unfortunately, I rolled the maximum.
Yeah.
Which is also what Knuckles takes because of the fumble.
Yeah.
So you both lose 4.
Oh, crappity crap.
Oh, lovely.
Well, this isn't looking good for me, guys.
So it's less a sense of relief about the idea that people are being copied. It's at first maybe there's a bit of relief that it's Cub that's being copied, but then the growing dread of what if
I've been
it's me?
copied? Yeah.
What if it's not a copy? Because you haven't seen it.
What if I'm not myself? Are there any mirrors in this room?
What if you're a copy?
Well, there's a relief. But, yeah.
Or is it?
So you've lost 4 and you've lost 4.
I'm now on 75, so I think I'm 2 off 12 in a day, which is the threshold, right?
Not
17 for you.
Not for you. Not for you. It's a 5th. I am very close to a 5th.
How much have you lost, Joseph?
I've lost 9.
You've lost 9.
I've lost 10, but I'm still off.
What did you start with?
11 is mine, right? That's what you said, isn't it, Dom?
10
52.
is yours.
Oh, 10. 11 is for...
Mine's 11.
Whereas I was
I'm one
on
off.
85, and now I'm on 75. What would I have to reach?
17 is what you've got to lose.
Oh, right. I'm laughing. Literally.
Yes, you're both laughing. You're both laughing hysterically. It's very odd.
I think I'm going to add in I let go and I'm on the floor laughing. I'm crawling back on my elbows laughing.
Mr. Bernard, I could do with your help. With my two companions here appear to have lost control of their senses. Their wits they were never great in the wit department, but their wits have now completely departed them. And
my wits are fine.
Cubby, come out now. Cubby, 2 cubbies are better than 1. You know what they say. So come out now, and I believe between the 2 of us, we can make an end to this.
A long grey claw emerges round the door and starts to push the door further open.
Cubby?
Clarence?
This was an Apocalypse Players production. For more information about the podcast, go to apocalypseplayers.com. Thanks for listening.